Welcome in, everyone, and welcome to the first PTR patch notes of the new year. I'm going to be walking you through this video kind of in a couple of different parts. That way you guys can dip out if there's any information that you just don't need to know at some point. So this video is going to be kind of a smorgasbord of ideas, if you will. First things first, we're going to go over the patch notes. I'm going to celebrate some things that healers finally had fixed, but I'm going to cover all the notes. I'm not going to like distance for myself from a non-healer out there in the world, but I'm going to share you with everything. I do have highlighted the items that pertain to healers, and I'm very excited to talk about those with you today. Now, then we're going to kind of pivot over into the leaderboards. I'm going to show them off to you as they exist right now in the PTR, and I'm going to share with you guys my feedback. Now, I've taken my feedback, I've posted it on the forums, and I've also posted it in-game to give the devs the things that I'm going to share with you guys. Now, you don't have to agree with any of my feedback, by the way. I'm just going to share with you guys what I want, what I see lacking in the current version of the PTR, and then you guys can let me know what you think. And if you do go and share your feedback on the PTR, let me know how I can boost that up. Let me know how I can help, bring more light to your ideas, because this isn't just the Brian Show. And welcome in, everybody, to the Brian Show. My name is Brian. That was the weirdest transition ever. But we've got a lot to talk about today. Before we dive into the video, I could ask you one simple favor. If you guys have yet to subscribe, over 81% of you have yet to hit that subscribe button. It does help me out in interesting ways. Not in the ways that typically people think it does. It's more about visibility than it is about anything else, because YouTube will still recommend my videos if you're somebody who watches my videos, and it does help me out personally. So thank you if you hit that subscribe button. And also, I've looked at the numbers. When I tell you to hit that like button, thank you guys so much for doing that. It helps these videos out immensely. That's the only thing I'm going to ask for you guys today, but we're going to go ahead and dive into these notes. First things first, these are not all-encompassing. There's still plenty of things that are going to be rolling out on the PTR. If you're looking for big content updates, those will be coming soon, but not in this version. This is going to be primarily focusing in on the February update. It's going to be the leaderboards, bots, bans, balance patches, etc. But we got a couple of fixes to go through. For the notable ones, they fixed various issues that allowed players to perform actions with a faster move speed than intended. They also fixed an issue where the Purity of Light staff perk would not properly heal targets when the debuff was cleansed. That's been on the forums. That's been plaguing us for a little while. I'm happy to see that get resolved. Now, for the hatchet weapon fixes, they fixed an issue that allowed hatchet users to move faster than intended when performing attacks. For us life staffers out there, this is the one that I've talked actually specifically about with other people. They fixed an issue where the perks and passives would not always trigger when using a bile bomb. They did it. It only took them 3 months, but it is in the PTR now. So be sure to test that. Hopefully we can make sure that that is no more plaguing us, even though we do roll bile bomb. Musket, they fixed an issue that allowed muskets to fire shots faster than intended. For the economy, they fixed an issue where the Mystic Sling Hatchet had an incorrect strength attribute bonus. For the trading post, they fixed issues where level 60 items would sometimes show as able to be equipped by players level 50 to 59 in the trading post. They fixed an issue in the trading post can equip filter not showing all rarities of items when close to max level. For the world experience and quests, they fixed an issue where the hold back the night quest required the wrong number of ingredients. They fixed an issue where the faction kill mission targeting the spread couldn't be completed, and they fixed the quest miner's keeper so that mining ore completes the quest. So that might not necessarily feel like the most significant of updates. And I think really because right now, when we start to see how the leaderboards themselves roll out and the PTR rolls out, I'll try to keep you guys up to date on all the big changes. So these notes aren't all encompassing. And honestly, I'm going to tell you this right now. It's been a busy week. I'm kind of glad that these notes don't take me forever to kind of compile for you. But I'm sure that we'll probably see some beefier notes here in our near future. I don't know if that's going to apply to this update that's going to roll into live here probably in the next couple of weeks, but if nothing else, it will be something here in the near future. But I'm going to walk you guys through kind of the leaderboards and give you my thoughts as I do so. Now, to get to the leaderboards right now, you're going to have to click on modes, and then it's going to show up in leaderboards. I think first and foremost, that is dumb. The leaderboards in the modes, leaderboards is not a mode. It should be, I think, next to modes. It could be down here by journal. They've got some space up here. I know that they're working on the, the find group tool, which shows up over here when you're looking for one. I want them to add that all the time, but they've said they're going to work on that too. But I think leaderboards has to be in here. So that's the kind of the biggest feedback that I gave them, because if you don't know where the leaderboards are, you're not going to click on modes. You're going to be like, hey, where is this stuff? It's not easily found. That's the feedback that I gave on that. Now, you can see here, you have a couple of options within the leaderboards themselves. Mutated, faction war, quarterly versus environment, quarterly versus players, and quarterly trade skills. Meaning, there is no weekly and no monthly activity here. These are all quarterly, and this is weekly. So if I click on this, you can change kind of your filter, and this one is focusing on a weekly for the mutated. You see this here, this week 12, and you can actually filter based off of the company and friends, which is great, which is fantastic. So you can also select your difficulty. I honestly think that from a filters perspective, this is awesome. I can turn this off, or we can say default and have that. Well, I guess default doesn't work, interesting enough. And hit apply, and then you can kind of see no data has been tracked. But if you filter yourself, it will show you and your friends. Personally think that's cool. Same thing with clear time. So it's got two different things it's tracking. Honestly, I'd love to know your thoughts here. I really didn't have too much thoughts. I've done a couple of mutated expeditions and thought they were great. It was a lot of fun. But this will be more interesting to see how it impacts live. For faction war, you can see here based off of the faction, the company, and even your individual, and how the different areas of different things are tracked. Wins, attacker wins, defenders, days govern, governing streak, etc. Okay, that's there. That's something that's interesting. Not personally to me, but who knows? Maybe I'll start jumping into some more rewards as they've been making changes there. Where I get interested is in versus environment, right? Like I like the PvE. I like PvP too, but we'll stick here. Obviously, you can do quarterly and you can do monthly. So this is kind of cool that they at least allow you to track that. It is individual, so there's no tracking by the company or by the faction. I think this is a miss, not having those two options. And again, focusing in on company and friends. Honestly, this is going to be probably the default filter that I keep on all the time, but I'm happy to see it. And I'd like to see some more of this. You can see invasions, trials, and corruptive breaches. This is cool, but I would love to see a little bit more details. I'd love to see more things that are being tracked. And honestly, my feedback could really be boiled down into kind of a personality quiz where we could sit here and say, well, Brian, you're going to incentivize bad play and unhealthy habits. And that's a fair point. That's an absolutely valid point. And so to that, I would say maybe like with the outside the leaderboards itself, just a character tracking data. Like give me all of this stuff. You don't have to break it up weekly, monthly, quarterly if you want, but just let me track all of my kills and all this and that, all the things I fish up. And that's kind of where I want to move into next. We'll jump into here last. Here you can see it's only focusing in on legendaries. You can do quarterly and monthly, which is cool. Filters are cool. I like fishing, but again, it's only fishing up legendaries. I think they should be able to track total fishes caught, total weight caught, total treasure chests caught, and legendaries. Like those are kind of the four categories that for me personally, who ran the fishing tournament classic for charity, we raised like over $2,500 for St. Jude last summer. Thank you guys so much for your support. Will we be doing it again? Abso-freaking-lutely. But I would love to have more things to track because legendaries is okay. Like that's one metric, but I'd like to be able to have it based off of more metrics, and that's going to be how that kind of functions. So that's kind of my feedback there. I really want more things to track in terms of the trade skills, and then in quarterly PvP, they are tracking it based off of character and faction. You can see this basically weekly, monthly, quarterly, which is great. And then you can see open world PvP, the outpost rush, and 3v3 arena. So this is, I think, honestly, probably the most well thought out. Be cool if this stuff was also tracked by the company. Gonna put that out there. You can see here already Syndicate rocking those control point captured. So that's gonna be great. I'm gonna focus in on see if I can't get some capture points. That's cool. So no real complaints there. I think that's actually probably the most fleshed out one of them all, but it really comes down to placement and really comes down to a couple things that I also want to see them add to the game. So I would love to know, guys, what you guys think about what you'd like to see them add to this game overall, because at the end of the day, like, this isn't the Brian Show, even though this is the Brian Show. I don't know. It just tickles me to no end. Guys, that's going to be it. If you guys want to, support the channel, that subscribe button, that like button are great ways to helping it grow. If you guys want to go above and beyond, check the links in the description. I just got an affiliate deal with ExpressVPN, so you can see how you can get 3 months free. They're not sponsoring me, but I just put down the link down there. Also a couple links if you ever never purchased the game. But yeah, support links are in the description if you want to jump into that. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. But until then, take care.